Good morning dear students, welcome back to CLE'S CBSE School Science online class. Dear students, in last class successfully we have completed unit 1 and under unit 1 the third chapter we have completed, that is the fiber to fabric. So dear students, now we are going to enter into unit 2, that is the part of the materials. Okay, this is the materials concept. Here we are going to start the fourth chapter, that is the heat. Okay dear students, let us understand what do you mean by heat. Have you ever observed the heat? Yes, we have observed the heat. So usually how we can determine the concept of heat, whether it is a cool, whether it is a hot. Let us understand what do you mean by heat here. So heat is a form of energy flowing from one body to another body, or you can say heat is a form of energy flowing from one body of matter to another spontaneously due to their temperature difference. Okay, so dear students, it is flowing spontaneously. Okay, it is not taking time, it is flowing spontaneously due to their temperature difference. So let us understand what are the characteristics of heat. Heat always transfer from body of higher temperature to body of lower temperature. So heat flows spontaneously from a hotter body to the cooler body. So the concept can be asked, where the heat can be flow. So heat are one of the form of energy which can be flow from hotter body to the cooler body, or you can say hotter body hottest temperature to the lowest temperature. Okay, so this is the concept of heat. So let us understand this heat in our day to day life. Okay, so here this boy is feeling hot, so that's why he wears some shorts like a half pant and a sleeveless t-shirts. Why? Because he feels hot. Where the second boy, he feels so cold. Is it? He feels so cold, so that's why he has covered all the area of his body. So sweater he had a sweater, topi, shoes, okay, muffler, all those things are there. Why? Because he feels so cold. So in our day-to-day life, we come across numerous objects. We consider some of object as a hotter than others and some as colder than others. So just take an example of a cup of tea. You can see here, okay, it is a very hot, so that's why you can see this fumes, or you can say this, you can see the fumes here, okay, white in color. Some of the examples are about the ice cream. Ice cream feels colder than recently cooked food or chapati. So we can say that how hot and cold are relatively terms. We consider an object hot in a comparison to the another object which is cooler. Okay, so the question is arise with us that how would you decide which object is hotter or colder than others? So we need any apparatus, no? We need any instrument to check that whether the temperature is high or whether the temperature is low. So one may rely on his sense such as a touch or a vision, many things you can do, but you cannot touch all the hot objects. Also it is not a reliable method, it is not a good method. Sometimes if the things is very hot, then your hand, your leg, your body, it can burn it. So in this situation what you are going to do? So what does your mother do when you are down with fever? What is the first thing your doctor does when you tell him that you are running a fever? Okay, what are the things he want to suggest you? Okay, let us recall those things. So let us understand how we can get the solution to check the temperature. Okay, let us understand the hot and cold condition. Okay, so already we have discussed this criteria that in our day-to-day life we come across number of objects. Some of them are hot, some of them very cold. So tea is a hot and ice is a cold. So you can say this like So, and some of the objects are hotter than others, some are colder than others. So, oftenly what we decide which object is a hotter than other. So, by touching, by using our sense organs, touch or many reasons, we can get this whether the things is hot or cold. So, we cannot always rely on the sense of touch to decide that whether the things are going to be hot or cold. Okay. So, in this situation, we need to understand the concept of temperature. Temperature is a nothing but temperature is a measure of the degree of hotness or coldness of an object. So, the temperature of something tells us how hot or cold something is. Okay. If the things is too hot, then we can say it is very hot temperature. If the thing is cool, then you can say the temperature is low. So, the temperature of something tells us how the things it is cold or hot. So, this is the temperature in a very simple language. So, let us understand what are the effects of heat. Okay. So, what you can observe whether you are feeling heat in your body or heat in the surrounding. So, what are the effects? So, here two types of changes we have come across, that is the physical change and the chemical change. What are the physical changes? Changes in temperature. Okay. So, effects of heat. So, due to the effects of heat, what happens? The physical change you can observe. So, on adding heat to body, its temperature increases. Suppose your normal body temperature is around 35 to 40 degrees Celsius and you got a fever, then the increase of temperature you may find. So, this is the one of the example of change in temperature. On removal of heat from the body, its temperature decreases. Okay. So, after getting the tablets of antibiotics or by applying number of times cotton clothes which is wet up by the water. So, what you can observe, you can decrease the temperature of the body. Next is the change in a state. So, sometimes what happens, due to the high temperature, the things will going to be evaporate. Evaporate means the liquid substances will going to be converted into gaseous substances. Okay. So, here the temperature is low, then liquid substances can be decreases and it can be converted into solid state. Okay. So, on addition or removal of heat from body, there is a change in state of body. Example, change of ice to water and addition of heat. Okay. So, ice means it is a solid substances. When we are applying number of heat or high amount of heat, then it can be changes into liquid, and if you are applying more number of heat, then it gets converted into gaseous form. So, this is the change of a state. Next is the thermal expansion. What do you mean by thermal expansion here? So, the phenomena of expansion of matter on heating is called as a thermal expansion. So, the phenomena of expansion means by applying the high amount of thermal or energy, or you can say heat, the matter can be expanded. Okay. So, which example it is? It is the thermal expansion. As well as you can observe the chemical changes on heating reactant. Many cases chemical changes takes place. Okay. So, reactant means whatever things you are going to take for the reaction is called as a reactant, and after completing the reaction, what you will get as a product form, it is called as a product. Okay. So, reactant is nothing but the things we have taken for the reaction purpose. Okay. This is nothing but the reactant, and after completing the reaction process, whatever product you will get, that is the product part. Okay. So, here you may find the chemical changes of in the process of heat. Let us take a measurement of temperature. Okay. So, dear students, the measurement are usually measured in a 3 units, that is the degree Celsius, which is represented by degree C, degree of Fahrenheit, that is the degree F, Kelvin is a only K, a capital K. So, on the Celsius scale, that is represented by C, the freezing point of water is a 0 degree Celsius, whereas the boiling point of 100 degree Celsius. So, the scale is calibrated from 0 degree Celsius to 100 degree Celsius. So, dear students, the physicists who have prepared this to understand the concept of temperature, they have maintained one scale. So on this, the water body is containing, or you can say the water freezing point is a 0 degree Celsius, whereas the boiling point is a 100 degree Celsius. So this scale is measured in this range itself. Okay. Next is the Fahrenheit scale. So the freezing point of water is a 32 degree Fahrenheit, whereas its boiling point is 212 degree Fahrenheit. So this scale is calibrated from 32 degree Fahrenheit to the 212 degree Fahrenheit. So dear students, for understanding or for measuring the things, we have taken the base for the water. Okay, so by taking the example of water itself, we have prepared the scale of degree Celsius and the degree Fahrenheit. So how we can get, or whether it is possible to change the temperature degree Celsius to degree Fahrenheit to degree Celsius, or Celsius to Kelvin. Let us understand this thing. So when the Celsius, okay, the Celsius is converted into Fahrenheit, then what you can do? So here degree Fahrenheit is equals to degree Celsius plus into 9 by 5 plus 32. Okay. The next is the conversion of Fahrenheit scale into Celsius scale, that is the degree Celsius is equals to degree Fahrenheit into 32 plus 5 by 9. So here the answer should be the degree Celsius, or degree Fahrenheit is nothing but degree Celsius into 1.8 plus 32. Okay. So dear students, after completing this class, I will send you the image, or just you can take the help of textbook also to measure the scale between the Celsius, Kelvin and the Fahrenheit. This is the formula. If you go for the solution, okay, degree Fahrenheit is nothing but the degree Celsius into 1.8 plus 32. Okay, it is the 32. 9 by 5 is nothing but the 1.8, whereas the conversion of degree Fahrenheit scale into Celsius scale is degree Fahrenheit minus 32 into 5 by 9. Okay, so just go for the simplification form of 5 by 9. Conversion of Celsius scale into Kelvin scale. So degree Kelvin is nothing but the degree Celsius plus 273.15. So these are the measurement of temperature. So here we have one device to measure the temperature. We can call it as a thermometer. Thermometer is nothing but it is using for measuring the temperature. So temperature is measured by a device called thermometer, and temperature is measured in a degree, whereas temperature is measured on two scales. What are those? Degree Celsius and the Fahrenheit. Degree Celsius is the symbol for the Celsius scale, degree F is the symbol for the Fahrenheit scale. Okay. So the Fahrenheit scale is the most popular in the United States. Celsius scale is the most used in the Canada as well as India also. Okay, so these are some basic information about the measurement of thermometer. Thermometer is an instrument that is used to measure the temperature. The question can be asked, how the thermometer is used to how we can use to measure the temperature by thermometer. So dear students, the thermometer concept we are going to discuss in the next class in a brief manner. There we are going to learn how to read the thermometer, what are the types of the thermometer, and what are the precautions to be observed while reading a thermometer. Okay dear students, so let's meet in the next class with new knowledge. Let's have a good day. Bye bye.